need to understand that hair growth happens on the inside. We need to first tackle the different things that may be going on the inside. So today, let's talk about the thyroid.
Trust that exactly where you are is where you're meant to be. So keep your chin up so your crown doesn't fall. Remember, you're royalty.
If you are OG, hey girl, how you doing, girl? Or boy, my bad. If you are new here, hi, hello, how are you? My name is Cynple. I am a licensed cosmetologist, herbalist, research scientist, the owner of Cynple Apothecary LLC, and a couple of other things. Today, we are going to be putting all of these together for a really set holistic practice tackling the thyroid. And by the end of this video, you will not only know what the thyroid is, but you will know how it contributes to the strength or lack thereof of the human hair shaft and scalp, and how you can strengthen it. So if you want to get into it, then make sure you stick around to the end of this video. The thyroid is a small butterfly-shaped gland, like right in the middle of your throat where an Adam's apple would be. Well, not exactly where the Adam's apple would be, but just below the Adam's apple. The thyroid is a part of the body's endocrine system. This is responsible for producing hormones and controlling the body's metabolism. These hormones regulate different bodily functions, and it is very important. The thyroid's main function is to produce a hormone that regulates the body's metabolism. This is going to impact the way that your body uses energy, which is one of the main and most important functions of the human body altogether. Remember, this affects nearly every organ in the human body. There are two primary hormones produced by the thyroid. Number one, this hormone affects nearly every single process within your body. This includes your heart rate, your body's temperature, and how fast your body is able to burn calories. And this second hormone here is the hormone that directly affects your metabolism and the way that it runs. This hormone also regulates the body's calcium levels. So it is extremely important. When the thyroid is maintained properly, it manages all of the body's natural function. It makes sure that the body's metabolism is at a healthy rate. But understand that if the thyroid is overproducing hormones, it can lead to cases like hyperthyroidism, which is an overactive thyroid, or hypoactive thyroidism, which is an underproduction of the thyroid. Not underproduction, but an underactive or inactive thyroid. This can cause issues like weight change, fatigue, and some heart problems. Now, those are the serious things, but of course, you want to know how the thyroid is affecting your hair as well. Well, let's talk about it, because the thyroid is responsible for the body's hormone production. So let's listen.
I said, hold up. Wait a minute.
Now remember, I said that the thyroid is responsible for your body's metabolism and a lot of the hormonal functions. So what you have to also understand is your hormones have a whole lot to do with things that go really well or really wrong when it comes to your hair growth process. So let's talk about hypothyroidism. This is the underactive thyroid. Low levels of thyroid hormones can cause the hair to be really dry and brittle and really easily prone to breakage. This can also lead to thinning or hair loss, and this is not only going to be for the scalp but also other areas on the body like the eyebrows. So if you're noticing that your hair is thinning out and your eyebrows are kind of looking a little shabby, a little funny, a little stanky, then this could have a lot to do with the thyroid. I need y'all to remember not always to run to a product. That's why most people run into problems like Mielle Organic antibiotics over and over and over again because you're running to a product without first understanding the science. But let's keep going. Hyperthyroidism. Now, excessive thyroid hormones can also cause the hair to become a lot thinner and very, very fragile and more prone to breakage. You may also notice that even if your hair isn't getting thinner, that it's starting to break a lot more for no reason. Like, no matter what you do, your hair is always breaking. A hair product is not always the first thing that you run to. Actually, the first thing you should do is tackle your diet and the things that you're eating and the things that you're ingesting into the body, which is either increasing and overproducing your thyroid hormones or underproducing them. Let's talk about skin health, because a lot of times whenever we are talking about hair, we're only focused on the hair that is coming out of your hair. But you need to remember that your hair's follicle, the hair bulb is grown, the hair's bulb and the root, all of that is inside of the hair's follicle, and you don't see hair until it protrudes out of the pore. So what we need to do is tackle the hair from inside, right? What is going on with our skin, and how does the thyroid affect your skin? Here we go. About to come all the oil greasers.
I've been oiling my scalp for 30 years.
Hypothyroidism, underactive thyroid, can result in really dry skin. This can cause your skin to be really dry, rough, and flaky. You know what I tell you guys about skin cell turnover? How every 28 days the skin cells on your scalp and all over your whole body die and fall off? Well, by you having hypothyroidism, which is the underproduction of the thyroid hormone, this can slow down the skin cell turnover cycle. And by it slowing down the skin cell turnover cycle, you're going to get a lot more thinning. You're going to get a lot more pilling, a lot more things that may appear as dry scalp. And what messes it up, your scalp is not dry. Your body is overproducing hormones. It's overproducing. Your body is throwing off that natural cycle. So you're seeing what's going wrong, and a lot of reasoning behind so many of you going bald using Mielle Organics. The only fault that Mielle Organics has is by putting on the directions that you're supposed to use it every single day, right? Because if your problem has nothing to do with hair growth, nothing to do with putting anything on the scalp, and it's your thyroid, and you're adding oil to something like, let's say you have underactive thyroid, and then it's throwing your skin cell turnover cycle off, you adding oil to the scalp is only gonna make the problem worse. That is why so many of you are going bald after using oils on your scalp, because the problem was never ever external, it was always internal. Hypothyroidism can also lead to a reduction in sweating, which can also lead to dry skin. So it really messes with all of your whole entire system. Now, hypothyroidism is the exact opposite. It may cause your skin to be too moist. You may be sweating a little bit too much, right? That was a problem that I had, but we're gonna get to a solution.
Oh my God! Wow!
In this case, you become more sweaty, which causes your skin and your scalp to be more warm, more moist. And we know that warm and moist environments are the skin's microbiome's favorite environment. So the natural bacteria that lives on the scalp is colonizing. If you have an overactive thyroid, plus you're putting oils and butters on the scalp, which are going to further power up these different forms of yeast and bacteria on the scalp. Hair is a holistic practice. Your body is a city, and if you do not understand how all parts work, that is what ends up being the cause of your thinning. I'm not defending these brands, but it's really unfair that these hair care brands are taking 1000% of the responsibility for you guys balding, when there are so many different holistic practices that have been ignored over the years. Let's keep going. Now, in both of these cases, is, with an overactive thyroid for your hair and your skin, it is so important for you to find a way to balance out your thyroid hormone levels, because this will directly affect the health of your hair. If you've been doing everything right, but some way, somehow things are just not working in your favor, it is time to look at things from a holistic practice, from the inside out, instead of working from the outside in. Are you with me, girl or boy? Ashwaganda is an adaptogen, which means that it is going to morph into whatever your body needs it to be, and it is a powerhouse when it comes to regulating the thyroid. So let's break that down. Ashwaganda is known as Indian ginseng. This is a powerful adaptogen in Ayurvedic medicine. Now I have a full video on ashwaganda with ashwaganda and gutta cola, so make sure you head over to the video that I already made about ashwaganda and gutta cola and how they work together for so many other things, but today we're talking about the thyroid. Ashwaganda helps to cope with stress and has been scientifically proven to aid the body in the results and causes and triggers of hypothyroidism. Let's talk about the key constituents of ashwaganda that makes it amazing at helping the body's thyroid. As these words pop on the screen, I need you to write them down. Number 1, write it down. These are the compounds that have anti-inflammatory, anti-cancer, and anti-stress properties. These are believed to modulate the body's immune system and will support healthy thyroid levels by balancing out the body's hormones. Number 2, this group of compounds is amazing as well. This contributes to ashwaganda's overall stress reducing properties. This also lends to its amazing calming effect. You talking about some stress, girl? The stress that you have in your body is directly affecting the amount of hormones that your body is releasing. So if you want to reduce the amount of hormones that your body is releasing, then you need to do something to change your mood, and ashwaganda does that. It's one of my favorites before bed. Oh, this constituent also helps to manage the body nervous system, which is extremely important with your natural thyroid function. This constituent is known for its antioxidant properties. This constituent within ashwaganda lends to its ability to decrease the amount of oxidative stress within the body. Reducing the body's amount of oxidative stress is amazing for regulating the body's natural thyroid function. Remember, reducing stress is great for managing your thyroid function, because it is stress that causes the imbalance sometimes. Oxidative stress is going to disrupt the thyroid hormone function within the body. Iron, I don't know why that's the one that I didn't put up on the screen, but I just love that. I don't know, because as a sister, we really do always have iron deficiencies, and ashwaganda is amazing. Ashwaganda naturally contains iron, which is amazing for people who are suffering from hypothyroidism. This deficiency is sometimes linked to the thyroid hormone imbalance. So by you adding ashwaganda to your diet and by you balancing out that iron within the body, it really helps you to regulate the body's normal systems. Now, ashwaganda has a thyroid stimulating hormone. Ashwaganda can help to regulate TSH levels. This is particularly boosting the T4 hormone levels within the body. This is essential for proper metabolism and energy regulation. Stress reduction. Since stress can negatively affect the thyroid hormone, ashwaganda's adaptogenetic properties may help to reduce cortisol levels within the body. This is going to indirectly support a healthy healthy thyroid. And I need you to remember that when you are having a lot of different forms of hair loss, it is sometimes the stress that triggers the body to release the hormone cortisol, and the hormone cortisol ends up turning into testosterone and attacking the hair follicle, which ends up leading to different cases of alopecia, which we'll talk about in a second. Remember, hair care and hair loss, scalp infection, and hair disorders is all a holistic practice, and dropping a couple of drops of a product on the scalp is not always going to heal it, because if the problem is not an external bacterial infection, the only thing that you're going to do by adding different oil drops to the scalp is kill the hair follicle. I really think that it's kind of messed up that Mielle Organics is being attacked and really led up to be held responsible for the downfall of the Team Natural community, because if it wasn't Mielle Organics, it would have been something else. Because instead of Black women targeting hair loss for itself, we've been tackling the end result, which is the balding, instead of going to the trigger. And the trigger, most of the time, that leads to the inflammation, which ends with balding, CCCA, and all of the different forms of alopecia, right? First, there was a trigger, and most likely that trigger was the thyroid. The trigger possibly wasn't even, the trigger wasn't even Mielle Organics or any of these products. The trigger could have simply been you having an imbalance within the body, and by you not tackling things from an internal level, and by you only tackling things from an external level by putting products on the scalp, you widely increase the overgrowth of yeast and bacteria that live on the scalp that contribute to you having thinning hair in the first place, you guys. So I really hope that this makes sense. Remember, by reducing your stress, you are going to widely affect the way that the thyroid is balanced. It's so important. Stress is really important. And girl, I'm sorry, but you doing your hair for 10 hours, that shit is stressful. Some of y'all probably losing y'all hair and going bald head, not even because y'all doing something wrong, but because y'all spending the majority of y'all time doing y'all hair. You putting twists in your hair for 8 hours, I'm for damn sure that it's breaking off. Make sure before you start to take ashwagandha, you make sure that you check with your doctors, because sometimes ashwagandha can have a negative reaction with some of your thyroid medication. So make sure that you check with your doctor. On my website, make sure you check all of the links in the description box, and make sure before you purchase that you read everything that there is for you to read in the description box of all of the products within Cynple Apothecary. Make sure that you also watch the other video that I have on ashwagandha so you can learn a little bit more about it. But I really hope that this video helped you guys understand that there are other things that lead to thinning and balding that cannot be tackled by a hair product. If your balding is caused by the thyroid, there is no amount of oil or butter or grease or little them drop tops that you're gonna put on your scalp that is going to change that. If the balding or the thinning or the fragile hair is caused from inactive or an overactive thyroid, baby, hair products, conditioners, shampoos are not gonna help. That is why it's so important for you to figure out what is going on from the inside out. If you need more help, make sure you check the ebooks that I have listed in the description box below, because in these ebooks, check the description box, they explain to you what different fruits and vegetables your body needs to produce healthy hair, skin, and nails. And by you having all of these things on track within your body is able to grow healthy hair, skin, and nails with no problem. There are so many different ebooks that I have that you can really get all of these things on track and really begin to understand even herbalism as a whole, right? So if you need more help, right, or you want to start reading up on some things, then make sure you head over to my website, link in the description box below, and start reading. All right, I will see you guys in my next video. Remember, we have to look at hair care working from the inside out, not from the outside in, girl. That's how you end up bald head trying to sue Mielle Organics, because you've been dropping drip drops on your scalp instead of eating some cereal or instead of eating a salad.